breach alarm screaming, hull plating melting, Earth's voice cracking the sky. This is Earth Command Final Broadcast. To the Exaltor Sovereignty, to the Veilborn Armada, to the traitors among our own here, this and choke on it. You have sealed your fate. The signal cut through the void like a blade through bone, slashing across every frequency still alive. Ships in high orbit friend, enemy, whatever was left, heard Earth die loud. And Earth died angry. Station Aegis 12 broke apart first, its core breached from within. 1,000 defense drones, override, locked and poisoned by alien code, turned on their own fleet. Human corvettes disintegrated under withering fire from ships with Earth's own signature tags. Friendly IFF meant nothing now. If it moved, it burned. In the dark, a new warlord stepped onto the comm channel face, hidden beneath a fractured tactical visor, voice scorched raw by smoke and plasma. This is Commander Kalen Vex, Terran Retribution Protocol, active command. You wanted Earth quiet. Instead, you woke every monster we ever chained. Beyond low orbit, on the deck of the Typhon's Grasp, Admiral Sorek of the Exaltor Sovereignty snarled through his secondary mandibles. What is this human nonsense? In their channel. In their world. No response. Comms techs lay dead at their stations, throats slit by their own neural implants. Earth's virus moved faster than any sword. Vex's voice filled the silence again. We knew you'd come in force. We knew diplomacy was a funeral with extra steps. That's why we buried the real Earth under this one. The ground cracked open. Beneath the ruined cities, automated war foundries woke for the first time since the last expansion war. Towers split apart, revealing launch silos too large for nuclear payloads. These were something older. Something angrier. Orbital lances clawed into the sky, not to intercept, but to drag. Enemy battleships, caught in graviton, snare fields were yanked down like prey into the mud. Screaming hulls flattened against Earth's dying skin, weapons firing wildly into the dirt. Commander Vex didn't flinch. You wanted to bury us. Congratulations, you're standing in our grave. Exaltor ground detachments, fresh from planetary insertion, found themselves knee-deep in human bones, cybernetic wreckage, and something else wet, still moving tissue bound to steel. Earth had been building weapons from itself, and now the dead were awake. No retreat order came. No ceasefire. There was no Earth left to surrender. On the bridge of Typhon's Grasp, Admiral Sorek stared at the planet's surface, his 3 hearts hammering like war drums. A single message burned into the atmosphere itself, one final transmission looping across every sky. You have sealed your fate. Admiral Sorek's mandibles twitched, not in rage. This was something colder. Fear cut with disbelief. He wasn't new to slaughter. He'd ordered planetary glassings before, watched empires choke on their last breath beneath his fleet's guns. But this was different. This wasn't death. This was refusal. Earth should have been gone. Every doctrine said so. A Class 7 orbital siege followed by surface collapse protocol guaranteed extinction in under 30 cycles. No species ever walked away from that. But Earth hadn't walked away. Earth dragged them into the grave and locked the door. His comm officer was still slumped, neural tap, bleeding black fluid, eyes fried from the inside. Sorek activated his personal link instead, patching directly into his command network, and that's when the whispers started. The encrypted data feed wasn't just carrying orders. Something was breathing through the line. Sorek, we see you. He tore off his command circlet. The whisper stayed. Beneath the deck, the ship's core reactor shifted frequency, pulsing in sync with something under Earth's crust. Sorek's haunted. Not by conscience, he's too much of a bastard for that, but by the one fear every Exaltor admiral, carries like a stone in their chest. The fear of fighting humans twice. Once was supposed to be enough. Beat them, break them, rewrite their skies, move on. That was the doctrine. But some of the older officers whispered of the first encounters, fleets swallowed by radiation storms, ships boarding themselves, crews found crucified inside their own hulls. And now, Earth's doing it again. Surface level Sector 13 burial zone. Commander Kalen Vex didn't have time to feel anything. Not rage. Not fear. Not grief. Survival ate everything else. He moved through the trench line like a ghost in broken armor. Blood-streaked plating hung off his frame, right gauntlet half melted from plasma splash. His HUD flickered, overlaid with ancient battle records combat logs from the first invasion, beamed into his mind through Earth's deep archive relays. Every step he took was haunted by a soldier who died in the exact same spot 80 years earlier. Vex's rifle coughed, rail shot slamming through Exaltor Biotrooper. The thing's armor was growing back before the corpse hit the ground. Good. Let it regenerate. More to kill. What Vex wants is simple payback. In full. With interest. He'd been a child when the first siege started, watched his father disappear into a conscription transport. They sent back his father's hands in a vacuum-sealed box 3 years later. No note. No apology. Just the hands. Vex still carried the box inside his pack. A reminder. Behind him, Sergeant Arya Kelt worked fast, splicing together salvaged drone cores into a combat hive, a swarm of microfighters, powered by stolen Exaltor tech, stripped of all safety protocols. Her hands shook, not from fear, but from the neural feedback scars left by too many direct uplinks. Every time she piloted a drone swarm, part of her mind stayed behind when the machines died. Little pieces of her lost to the network. What Arya wants is freedom from her own mind, from the war, from the damn machines crawling inside her skull. They won't get what they want. But they'll keep moving. Because if they stop, Earth dies for real. Orbital layer, ghost signal in the void. Far above, where Earth's gravity only whispered, a dead satellite blinked to life. Its systems weren't built by humans. They were built by the ones who came before. The ones Earth killed first. The satellite's core flickered, relaying an ancient distress signal into the black one Earth's enemies had never heard. Because Earth never lost enough to use it before. Signal status, sent. Response time, unknown. Designation, return of the lost fleet. Admiral Sorek's heartbeat stalled. His personal translator failed to render the human message looping through the fleet channels, but the meaning came through anyway. It wasn't language. It was a promise. We told you. You have sealed your fate. The dead satellite's pulse tore through every encrypted frequency like a knife through wet paper. Down in the trench line, Vex's helmet screamed warnings, unauthorized signal penetration, neural bleed risk, proximity hack. Arya swore under her breath, fingers twitching as the drone hive's targeting flickered like candlelight in a storm. Vex, what the hell is that? Her voice hit sharp, cutting through the gunfire. No idea. His boots crushed the throat of a wounded biotrooper as he spoke. But it's in the system now. Above them, orbital relays lit like funeral pyres, one by one. Inside the Typhon's grasp, Admiral Sorek staggered, 3 hearts slamming out of rhythm. A new transmission whispered into his implants, bypassing encryption, crawling straight into his skull. A voice he knew. A voice he killed. Sorek, it's me. He shouldn't have recognized it. He left her burning in atmosphere 30 years ago, part of the first Terran envoy. She'd begged, screamed, then laughed before her comm line cut out. Now, here she was, alive in the signal. You never understood, did you? Earth isn't a planet. It's a weapon disguised as a grave. Trenchline Sector 13. Arya's drones started turning wings, folding into jagged spikes, targeting systems, rerouting to human positions. Vex grabbed her wrist, forced her palm onto the command override. "What the hell did you plug into?" he demanded. Arya's pupils blew wide, data washing over her corneas. "This isn't me, Vex. This isn't them. It's a third signal. Beneath Earth. Older than both sides." Vex's grip tightened. "Cut the line." "I can't." Her voice cracked. "It's inside me now." Vex didn't hesitate. His knife, his father's knife, flashed out, slashing through her neural cable. Sparks burst from the port at the base of her skull. Arya screamed once, teeth grinding, but her hands came steady. The drones faltered, then returned fire on the Exaltor advance. "Don't plug in again," Vex said, voice like a hammer. "Whatever's down there, we're not talking to it." Arya spat blood into the dirt. "Vex, we already did." Bridge Tiffon's grasp. Admiral Sorek stumbled toward the holotable, eyes locked on Earth's surface. The crust was moving. Cities peeled open like rotten fruit, something enormous pushing upward. Not machines. Not ships. Bones. A skeleton fleet fused into the planet itself, now rising like fingers through the soil. That third signal, the one even Earth feared, wasn't human. It was from whatever Earth fought before humanity existed. The First War. The Buried War. The war nobody won. Sorek's second officer, a veteran named Relthar, grabbed his arm. "Admiral, we need orders. Our ground forces are caught between Terran counterfire and something else. Something wrong. Pull them out." Sorek's voice shook. "All of them. Sir, all of them." Too late. Underground sublevel Z9. Deep beneath the trench line, forgotten chambers unlocked themselves. Airlocks hissed. Lights flickered, running ancient codes. Something old walked out. Something that didn't wear skin. It remembered the first invaders. It remembered losing. It remembered being buried alive, fused into Earth's bones like shrapnel in flesh. And now, it saw new prey. Vex and Arya stood on shifting ground, the dirt trembling beneath their boots. Arya wiped her mouth with a shaking hand. "That third signal, Vex. It's not ours. It's not theirs either." Vex didn't answer, because he already knew. Earth hadn't just built weapons under the ground. Earth built coffins. And something inside just woke up. Above, the satellite's final transmission completed. Old blood remembers. Vex dragged Arya toward the breach, a jagged tear in the trench wall that hadn't been there 5 minutes ago. Dirt crumbled into the void, falling endlessly into a shaft carved by something older than drills, older than war. Vex's visor flickered between seismic scans and threat detection, and both feeds spat back the same impossible reading. The ground was hollow, not just here, but the whole damn planet. Arya stumbled, her severed neural cable still sparking at the base of her skull. "Vex, what's under us? Is it theirs?" Vex didn't answer, because answering meant admitting Earth wasn't the battlefield. Earth was the shell, and something had been growing inside it the entire time. Above them, the sky burned white Saltor drop fleets trying to retreat. But something ripped them down, one by one. Not human weapons. Not gravity wells. Hands. Vast, skeletal hands of blackened metal and calcified flesh. They tore ships apart without firing a shot. Technology failed in their grasp. Metal rusted. Energy bled dry. On the Tiffon's grasp, Admiral Sorek slammed his fist into the holotable. "This isn't Earth's doing. This is something else." Our intelligence, our whole war doctrine, it's based on lies. Relther's mandibles clicked, nerves shredding into panic. Whose lies, sir? The humans. Our own? Or the bridge windows ruptured, not from weapons fire, but from inside the glass itself. Lines of corrosion etched ancient glyphs across the surface, alien symbols, neither human nor exultor, but older than both species combined. Sorek's blood froze as the meaning crystallized in his mind. It wasn't a message. It was a sentence. You are the second to break this world. You will not be the last. Beneath the trench, Vex and Arya slipped down the shaft, armor scraping ancient walls. The air smelled wrong, not rot, not metal. Old memory, like something Earth itself had forgotten, but the soil still remembered. At the bottom, they found a door made of light. Not technology memory rendered solid. Arya's voice shook. Vex, that symbol, I've seen it before. Where? She swallowed hard. In the first archives. In the transmission that started Earth's space program. The one from deep orbit, the one we thought came from Mars. Vex's gut turned to ice. That wasn't from Mars. No. Arya's fingers traced the glyph. It came from inside Earth. Sent up. To warn us about this. The door opened itself. Not a code. Not a hack. Recognition. Inside was a body. Not human. Not exultor. Something else. It wore a Terran flight suit. One from the First War. But the face beneath the helmet was something Earth never made. Above, Sorek's fleet fractured half trying to flee, half firing blindly at targets they couldn't see. Every blast just illuminated more bones rising from the Earth, climbing into orbit, linking into something vast. A ship. No. A tomb rebuilt into a ship. Earth's first enemy, repurposed into Earth's last weapon. Vex's comm crackled to life, but it wasn't Earth Command. It was the voice from the satellite, the one that wasn't human anymore. You dug too deep. You woke us up. Now you fight beside us, or you die first. Vex's hand hovered over his weapon. Arya's breathing quickened. Behind them, the door began to close again. One question answered. Earth knew. They always knew. Two more questions burned in the dark. Who built the thing in the ground? And why does it know Vex's name?